All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get ready to get started. I'd like to, welcome everyone, to UC Berkeley, specifically with our College of Letters and Sciences, and we welcome you all to our webinar on scheduling career planning for arts and humanities students. Glad you all, decided to choose arts and humanities majors or as your, academic path. And we hope that in today's presentation, we can give you some more information, not only just on the academic side for arts and humanities, but also some career pieces as well. Real quick, I'll introduce myself. My name is Dante Marshall. I'm one of the college advisors here in the College of Letters and Sciences. Been working here with Cal for about a year now, specifically with arts and humanities students. And I look forward to, working with you all over this upcoming school year. And I'll let my other two colleagues introduce themselves as well.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're so excited to have you here for this webinar. My name is Emily Nahum, and I'm a college advisor in Letters and Sciences, and I primarily work with arts and humanities students. So looking forward to working with you all in this upcoming year.
Hi, everyone. I echo the welcome and sentiments from Dante and Emily. My name is Lily Ritchie. My pronouns are she, hers. I am a representative from the Career Center, but I am the specific career counselor for the arts and humanities folks. So I look forward to supporting you all related to career planning and working a little bit to help you understand the kind of services that we offer and how we can support you specifically at the Career Center. And I'm glad to be here with both Emily and Dante. Y'all are in good hands when it comes to advising. So I look forward to digging in and answering your questions as well.
Right. Next slide. Let's see. All right, so we'll just kind of go over some community agreements and kind of like what to probably expect from today's presentation. What we ask is, kind of listen, reflect, connect. Our goal is definitely, to receive more insights, not only on some courses, requirements, but arts and humanities as, our advising neighborhood, get some insight on the career planning as well, and what Lily will cover. Also reviewing parts 3 and 4 of your final assignment with GBA. Parts 3 and 4 kind of cover some of the major planning and schedule planning. That'll be covered as well. And then as we go over some questions that you all may have, we kind of ask that you utilize the Q&A function at the bottom of the screen, where we do have who are monitoring the Q&A, and they'll be able to answer your questions as we go along through the webinar today. And then if there's any questions, we also have some time at the end of the presentation for live Q&A, where we'll be able to answer questions as well. So any questions that won't be answered through the chat function, again, kind of just ask that we ask those in the Q&A. All right, so again, glad that you're here, glad that you're choosing, arts and humanities, looking forward to working with you all. Hope that it's, been an exciting summer for you all, and in anticipation on, beginning in the fall semester. Hoping, you're already thinking about maybe some different student organizations you're looking to join, getting involved with arts and humanities. All three of us, we look forward to, working with you all over the course of this upcoming school year. So a little bit about our advising team. We have 4 advisors who are working with arts and humanities. Myself, Emily, who you've met as well in this presentation today. We also have Carla Rodriguez Sandher, another advisor, and then Sonia Scott. If you have any questions, once you're able to kind of schedule meetings with your college advisors, if you have any questions, want to, go over anything, or just want to be able to meet with your advisor, once GBA is done and you're able to kind of meet with advisors, look forward to, meeting with myself or any of advisors as a part of our arts and humanities team. We definitely look forward to working with you all, connecting with you all. And so some kind of services on the advising end that we offer within the L&S, kind of wide range of services, but as far as, appointments, how to be able to get some of the answers, questions that you may have answered. And if you have, want any advice on anything, we do have our virtual front desk, and we have our advising assistants, intake advisors. They're able to kind of answer, some quick questions for you all. If you have any questions about any forms, any policies that relates to, L&S or any like processes that you have to navigate throughout the semester, you can utilize the virtual front desk. Also meeting with college advisors, myself, Emily, Carlin, and Sonia. And then as you progress through your degree requirements and getting through your college requirements, as you probably work on prereqs for your chosen major, it would also be good to meet with your major advisor. You can schedule those meetings all here at this link here, lnsadvising.berkeley.edu/appointments-advice. If you select like the major that you're anticipating on declaring, that's where you'll be able to access the schedules for your major advisor.
All right, so you might be wondering, what do we do in arts and humanities? So arts and humanities at UC Berkeley offers 30 majors across 19 departments, 14 research units, and more than 250 faculty members. So it's pretty big. Some examples of major departments include philosophy, comparative literature, art practice, Greek, English, and much more. They work in 80 different languages, with some examples including French, Latin, Spanish, and Portuguese, Russian, Korean, among many others. The departments include award-winning poets and novelists, as well as practicing artists in music, theater, dance, and the visual arts. Students can combine many academic interests within arts and humanities by double majoring, minoring, pursuing certificates, and research opportunities. Next slide, please. All right, so how can we use knowledge to study the past and to respond to the most pressing concerns of our times? So as I mentioned in the previous slide, there's a vast range of study and disciplines among arts and humanities at UC Berkeley. Our faculty and students study every dimension from the human experience, from the ancient past to the anticipated future. The curriculum in these departments is theory-based, research-focused, and practical when answering questions in regards to the individual and the greater societies that we live in. Next slide.
So in Berkeley Arts and Humanities, we definitely have world-class scholars, students who bring together pursuing fundamental insights into the human condition across, and as Emily was alluding to, a wide range of disciplines. A lot of these majors will focus on art making, performance and literature, languages and cultures, philosophy, rhetoric, and religion. So kind of think of like majors like art practice, there's film and media, a lot of your language majors, rhetoric as one, a lot to kind of choose from within arts and humanities. If you're probably even thinking about double majoring, not going to be like a lot of overlap between those majors. So it's okay to kind of, choose from some of these different majors within arts and humanities that kind of align with your interest. And within arts and humanities, our major students have kind of some of the highest student satisfaction rate on campus. Definitely working with students in this neighborhood of arts and humanities is definitely, pursuing this major based on, definitely from a standpoint of pursuing on your interests, by your passions, and working with, our college advisors. And that's why we also want you to be able to work with career counselors as well to kind of get those hands-on experiences in addition to what you're learning in the classroom, whether that's from a campus job, getting involved within student organizations, or finding internships. Any type of hands-on experience is beneficial to be able to go along with meeting those passions that you have in the classroom.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about the kind of services that we offer here in L&S Advising, but what can you ask us in an appointment or at the virtual front desk or, in a drop-in? So college advisors, we support students in many areas, including exploring major interests. And along those lines, we help students understand if double majoring and or minoring might be right for them. So if you want to have a discussion on what your interests are, your passions, maybe, preliminarily what your career interests are, we can kind of help to determine what major might be best suited for you. And if, combining major interests might be the right path in your academic career. We also help students create schedule plans that are balanced with prerequisite major courses, different electives, and other L&S degree requirements so that you have a manageable course load in each semester and that you're moving in a pathway towards graduation. We also help to explain college policies and deadlines throughout the academic year so that you stay on top of things. We provide support in pre-professional and pre-law advising to students who may want to pursue further educational in their graduate studies. And we also help students plan their pathway to graduation. So after Berkeley, our arts and humanities students take their skills and passions with them to a wide array of careers. And that's why I'm very pleased and excited that we're joined by Lily Ritchie in the Career Center to discuss more information about career planning resources and opportunities here at UC Berkeley.
Thanks, Emily. Thank you, Dante. So, introduction to myself, Lily Ritchie, career counselor and educator. Again, I am specifically for the Arts and Humanities neighborhood. A little bit about me that would also help you understand why I'm well poised. My own background is in comparative religion and philosophy. I really understand and care for the arts and humanities as a practice. And there really is so much that you have to offer as arts and humanities students to the world of work. There are fantastic careers out there for you. However, when it comes to career planning, we have to look at things from a different type of strategy than students who might be in other schools, like the College of Engineering, for example. We have to look and think about things a little differently. And so that's what I'm here to help you with, what the Career Center is here to do. So my main goal here is to just introduce you to the types of support that you can expect from the Career Center and focusing it very much into this unique facet of what it means for arts and humanities. So at the Career Center, we are really focusing all of our work around 3 areas. We want to support you to have clarity about the nature of your career. We want you to be competitive out there when you are competing for jobs or trying to make your way in the world of work. That includes understanding the nature of career planning, job applications, how to write a resume, all those good things, but also to do so in a way that is deeply connected, not only to the alumni networks that are here at UC Berkeley, but to leverage other forms of connections that will help you feed into this clarity and competitiveness. So I really see these 3 aspects, clarity, competitiveness, and connections, as all feeding into each other and how we structure and support our work and career services for you. So I think it's important to note that all of us, every single one of us, will face different types of obstacles and have different needs when it comes to the process of career planning. And just to name it and say it, some of those obstacles will be rooted in systemic oppression. So we really are committed at the Career Center to providing inclusive, equitable, and identity-forward support for folks of all races, ethnicities, backgrounds, first gens, English as a second language, gender expression, you name it. We are there to really support you, and you can bring your identity into the room with your career counselor, and we can talk about and discuss ways to support you as well. So I want to do a brief introduction to the Letters and Science team. We are led by our fearless leader, Mr. Larry Jackson, who's just absolutely fantastic. You may have seen him out at some of our career fairs or otherwise. We're all in really good hands under his leadership as Senior Associate Director. I also have my two colleagues, Kelly Lee, who is the Assistant Director for Letters and Science. Her focus is pre-law, and Jeremy Brooks, also an Assistant Director, and his focus is social impact. And then there's me, your friendly Arts and Humanities career counselor as well. But some of you might also have other identities that come in. So we really want to support folks. We do have a special assistant director who works directly with our international students. That's Jing Han. And my colleague, Ricardo Flores, who works with students with disabilities. So you can meet with anybody within L&S, but I also want to just really highlight for you that if you are facing some particular obstacles and you really want some specialized support, you also can make appointments with Jing and Ricardo. Both are fantastic. So when it comes to meeting with a counselor, first caveat, let me just say, if you're an incoming freshman, you won't be able to have an individual meeting with a counselor your first semester at the Career Center. But for spring of your freshman year, we can totally talk. But anybody who's transferring in or otherwise, you can definitely make an appointment with a career counselor. And we're going to go over how to do that a little bit later in my section of the slides. But we can discuss all sorts of things, everything from career exploration to how to get internships and search for jobs, ways to interview and how to prepare for an interview. We can also talk about graduate professional school. Again, a little bit about me. I spent 5 years in graduate admissions prior to my time here at UC Berkeley in the Career Center. We can talk about job offer negotiations, resume and cover writing, networking, using LinkedIn, all the good stuff. So we can talk about all these and more, anything that's at the top of your heart mind when it comes to your career process. I love this meme. How would you describe yourself? Verbally, but I've also prepared a dance. So for some of you dance majors out there, maybe we could talk about that, how to bring some of your somatic elements into your interview and job process. But essentially, I'm going to just highlight some of the strengths that employers are seeking, right? So they're talking about problem-solving skills, the ability to work as a team, your ability to communicate both orally and written, leadership capacity, strong work ethic, the ability to analyze and to bring quantitative skills into the process, taking initiative, being detail-oriented, and being flexible and adaptable. Now, these are strengths, essentially. It's not necessarily skills, but these are strengths. And I can tell you that all of you will engage in these various forms of strengths in your coursework in Arts and Humanities. So we can definitely talk about how to translate that to a resume later on. So alongside the career education team, we also have a whole employer and alumni connections team within the Career Center. So employer relations are supporting you to have access to hundreds of employers through Handshake, something called the Student Discovery Hub, which we'll mention a little bit, events, and all sorts of other types of opportunities to connect. Also, they support us with collecting internship and jobs through Handshake. We'll get into that in a little bit. We also have networking and industry-specific events through career fairs and alumni panel events. As you'll see in the chat, there's a list to upcoming career fairs. We have, I believe, 8 fairs for this upcoming fall that you can attend and join to network, connect with employers, see what's out there, bring a resume, and just get your feet wet when it comes to entering a career paradigm, as I like to call it. So we do have some additional services. The Career Center is on campus. So just so you know, we're directly across Bancroft from the MLK Student Union. We have a large flag on the side of the building that says Career Center. Even so it's very easy to miss the building because you have to kind of like look at it. But if you're looking for the flag, you'll find it. We also have an iris photo booth if you want to come in and get a professional portrait taken for LinkedIn or otherwise. We offer peer drop-ins. We have interview interview rooms that are specifically there to provide a quiet and a relaxed and professional space if you need to do a grad school interview or an interview with a potential employer or internship opportunity. We have presentations that are held both virtually and in person. So if you ever see anything that says blue and gold rooms, then those are in person at the Career Center. I also just want to say that while the Career Library is not hosted uniquely at the Career Center, there is a career library in the Tang Center, and we will often collaborate with them for students to have some strengths and values assessments that we can take into our work when we're thinking about potential industries, roles, and various things to keep in mind when you're planning your career process. So Handshake is the platform that you will use to not only make an appointment with a counselor such as myself, but also to sign up for career mails. These are newsletters that are created for you by career counselors that are organized according to potential industry, such as arts and entertainment and culture. I host that career mail. I will post unique opportunities, internships, things you need to know about the nature of these careers and these industries. So I definitely recommend checking that out. You can learn about and sign up for events such as fairs, workshops, info sessions, and more, of course, alongside making an appointment to meet with a counselor through Handshake. And we'll be putting the link to how to sign up for Handshake with your Cal ID, etc. in the link. Not the link, my apologies, the chat, the link in the chat. Okay, so alongside Handshake, the Student Discovery Hub is something that was put together actually by folks in Arts and Humanities, because Handshake is there to be for internships for all students across all of UC Berkeley. But the Student Discovery Hub was really crafted to be a curated list of experience granting opportunities, such as experiential classes, internships, clubs, volunteering opportunities, as Dante was mentioning earlier, ways to generate some skills that you can write about in your resume. And it's one of the best resources for arts and humanities students who want to bolster their resume and their applied skills. So I highly recommend that. The Student Discovery Hub database does integrate some of the internship opportunities that we list in Handshake and even adds a few of their own. So that's kind of its own thing. You can use the link that was just placed in the chat to gain access to the experience database, and I highly recommend it. We also have some resources on demand. So you can find these resources if you want to understand how to connect certain majors to careers, ways to figure out career options. We have some identity-based resources for folks. You can also explore different career fields and learn about roles from industry professionals spanning all types of industries. We can support you to get prepared for an interview. And also, I just wanted to highlight Going Global is a particular app that you have to sign up for through Handshake. It gives you information about international careers, how to write a resume for Spain or Uganda or Australia, what the cultural practices are for interviewing, what's considered professional, what you can expect when it comes to being part of a workplace outside of the US. So if you are interested in seeking international career opportunities, we got that for you alongside a number of other resources on demand that you can find on our website. So before we get into the Q&A, just wanted to offer you some quick ways that you can stay in touch with the Career Center. We have an Instagram, we have a YouTube, which has all kinds of great little playlists about how to write a cover letter, a resume, interviewing, strengths space, ways to discuss disability with potential employers. We also have a TikTok and our very own podcast called the Bear Boss Podcast. So feel free to follow us at any of these.
All right. So now we're going to open it up for our Q&A. If you have any questions, please drop them in the Q&A, and we will be answering those for you all as they come up. this question here, would taking English 45A, Shakespeare 117, and American Studies 101 AC be too writing heavy? I would assume probably from those list of courses, that's probably going to be an English major, something of that nature. I would say probably taking those 3 writing courses in a given semester. I mean, if you feel comfortable doing, 3 writing courses of that nature in one semester, it should be okay. Probably balancing that out, probably, within your first 2 semesters, you probably want to balance some of the prereq courses that you're going to do for your major with some of the courses in your college requirements, whether that's any breadth requirements, which are like, the American history, American institutions, physical sciences, biological sciences, things of that nature, essential skills. But if you feel comfortable with balancing those 3 English courses, if it's like prereqs to anything that you might need down the road, I mean, it's definitely, useful to make good progress towards your major requirements. So, yeah. Emily.
I would also add to that question just that it looks like there's 2 upper division courses, and usually in your first semester, we don't recommend taking upper division courses just because they're quite rigorous. So, for your first semester, it's good to just take lower division and kind of get a handle on what classes are like here at UC Berkeley, and then starting to take upper division courses, maybe your second semester. It's completely up to you if you feel like you want to take on one, that's totally fine. But, just to keep that in mind as you're planning your first semester schedule. So that next question that we have here, the broadest program available that incorporates the best of both worlds. So in this example, it was STEM and humanities. So we have many different majors in letters and sciences. And today we talked about arts and humanities, and that's, sort of our neighborhood. And there's other majors that are more science focused, such as, molecular and cell biology, integrative biology. There's also social sciences like psychology and cognitive science, which are, kind of humanities, but offer, some STEM incorporation in there. So, I would just really encourage looking at the list of majors that are on our website, doing some research and understanding the curriculum. And then, once you come into UC Berkeley, I would recommend having an advising appointment with a college advisor to really go through some of those majors and help narrow down some that might fit your interests.
So is there a lower division Shakespeare class to fulfill that English requirement? Off the top of my head, lower division Shakespeare. I would have to probably take a look at the English major site and like their major requirements to probably see which Shakespeare course that was. And now if it's like that Shakespeare course, if like Emily was saying, if it being like an upper division, that might be something that's probably for getting into the upper division portion of your major. You'll probably be needing upper division courses for that part of the major requirement. So it kind of just depends on when we look at major requirements for the English major, where is that requirement listed? I would assume it's probably going to need to be an upper division one. There.
I'm putting a link in the chat from the English department that, might provide more information. Yeah, I know that there's English 45. So, a course in Shakespeare. So there's 17 That's the lower division. Thank you to who answered that in the chat. And then there's some other upper division courses as well.
Okay, so I'll dive in as well, just from, again, a lot of great questions and a lot of great content in the presentation. And I noticed a common theme that I also shared in the chat about just any tips or recommendations to get started, right? Whether that's choosing the major or what they have access to as a first-year student at the Career Center or elsewhere. Any tips about how to dive in with all these options? So we'll keep that open-ended, but any recommendations? And thanks.
I would say kind of probably for, if you're still kind of like exploring different majors, I mean, that's probably also like for what's like the college requirements, some of the different breadth requirements, utilize those to be able to take classes in some different subjects, to get a feel for, what you may be interested in. If you already kind of have in mind a career down the road or a job in mind that you might be interested in, probably looking at the academic guide and seeing kind of which majors or minors, if you even are interested in minoring in something as well, see what majors or minors would probably be best suited towards a career that you have in mind. And definitely, utilizing maybe your first couple of years, kind of doing some exploring between different majors, taking some different classes, and then connecting with Lily. She's always definitely a great resource, real personable, friendly. I was just meeting with a student about a week ago, and just to Lily, she was just talking about how great you are at what you do. So definitely, connecting with Lily as well for that career connection as well.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, we have a question. How often do students meet with major advisors versus L&S college advisors? And that's a really great question. So L&S is a really big college, and so we do have college advisors and major advisors. And the major advisors are within each specific department. So they're really knowledgeable about the details when it comes to, declaring a major, what the prerequisite courses are, what grades you need to get, how to best kind of plan out your schedule with the courses needed for the major. And L&S advisors, we help with a wide range, as I mentioned earlier, and, we can help to definitely talk through, sort of things regarding the major, but when it comes to really in-depth questions, we refer to the major advisors. So it just really depends on, kind of what your needs are in that, given moment. So if it's really something related to declaring the major, how to submit that form, what prereqs to take, I'd recommend meeting with the major advisor. Whereas, when it comes to course planning for like L&S degree requirements, like the 7-course breadth, essential skills, maybe talking through some academic difficulty you might be experiencing, that's something that we can help you with. But certainly you can make an appointment with us. And if, we feel the need to refer, you can meet with a major advisor. So it just depends on the student.
To take a minute to respond to Michelle's wonderful prompt. I think it's important to note that as a first-year student, again, just to repeat, you won't have access to one-on-one individual counseling appointments with counselors within your first semester. However, spring of your second semester, you can definitely connect with a counselor then. So in which case, what advice would I give for someone who is coming into UC Berkeley, who's already like career minded, or perhaps you have some pressure from folks who are very well-meaning and might love you, who might be asking, well, what are you going to do with that when you get older? You know what? That is can be a very loving question. But I think I want to step back really briefly and just say, for some reason in American society, we think about a career as like, I'm going to shoot an arrow. I'm just going to like take all this momentum that I have, and I'm aiming toward a particular target, and I pull the arrow of my life back and I let it go. And I'm just aiming toward this one thing. It's like linear, it happens instantaneously, you hit the target or you don't. But really, especially for arts and humanities, and for the majority of us, figuring out your career pathway is more like trying to cross a river. You're taking one step at a time across the river, figuring things out as you go. So I just wanted to echo some of what Dante and Emily have said. Your first year is a lot about exploring. And if I were to give you a place to put your energy, I just want to say, generally, there aren't going to be many internships available this summer in between your freshman year and your sophomore year. Usually internships are much more for folks who are going from their sophomore to their junior year. So what can you do with your time? Definitely joining clubs and student organizations that give you joy. You can be engaging in career-related skill building and connecting in leadership. Remember the list of strengths. Joining a club of people who love anime, or folks who want to do some specific volunteer work. It doesn't always have to be like the most meaningful, quote unquote, thing that you're doing. You don't have to be serving the quote unquote greater good in order to be gaining career-related skills. You can literally just be learning about things you love, engaging with other folks in community about things you enjoy, and providing opportunities for the campus community to enjoy those things with you. There's cultural heritage opportunities. There's ways to connect with folks who are very career-minded, whether it's, women in pre-law, or opportunities for folks interested in going into finance. So explore those things. All those clubs and activities are things that we can write about in your resume. They're going to be excellent ways not only to gain skills, but to build them, and some leadership opportunities. So in your first year or two, I would definitely look for opportunities related to being involved on campus, pursuing the things that you enjoy. And if nothing else, definitely look for jobs on campus that might expose you to other industries. If you work primarily in food service up until this moment, then maybe look for jobs that might be more administrative or supporting other aspects of the campus life. So that was just a little bit of what can I do if I'm really thinking about my career coming into my freshman year. Also attending career fairs, taking advantage of the information, learn how to write a resume, attend an info session. And then when you're ready and when the time comes in spring, if you want to meet with a career counselor, we can absolutely do so. So I hope that's just giving you some ideas of things you could do. I invite both Emily and Dante, if you have other thoughts or ideas, please feel free to share. But I wanted to give a career center perspective, if you would.
No, definitely to go along with what you were saying, Lily, I think kind of the setup like of arts and humanities majors probably don't necessarily have like those co-curricular experiences like built into the curriculum. Like some majors might have research or internships experiences built into it. So definitely being like intentional, like as Lily was saying, gaining different skills in student orgs, campus jobs, and if he's finding a job off campus, and then pursuing those internship opportunities. And like she was saying, like pursuing a career doesn't have to be anything that you just set on one thing, and that's what you pursue over the next 4 or 5 years. And once you're out of school after you graduated, it's always going to be exploring different options, different careers, really in life in general. Even just for myself in undergrad, as Lily had mentioned, I was a psych major and had an internship experience working with the after school program with students. Some students were court appointed there, but through that after school program, working with the social workers who, did that program, I was able to tell like, okay, I might not want to necessarily do anything that's social work related, but I did enjoy the aspect of working with students, and then also being a resident advisor in the residence halls. And I think that kind of started the path of me going down the route towards education. So when you think of an internship, even if you see an internship out there that maybe if it's not the ideal, pursue it. And there's going to be some things that you'll take from it, like, okay, I like these aspects of this experience. I don't like these job responsibilities and this internship, and that can help you kind of narrow things down. So we do have another question in here. So if we're considering a minor, should we start thinking about taking its prereqs the first semester?
I can answer that. And yeah, so I think that for your first semester, I mean, we do recommend focusing on major prerequisites, just because your major is definitely something that's very necessary to have to, get your degree. So we would recommend taking the prerequisites for a major. And then, if there is a class in a minor that you are really interested in, go for it. I think if that fits into your schedule, if it creates, a balanced schedule, then that certainly works. But yeah, I think that there's plenty of time to focus on minor related classes as well. So yeah, it's kind of up to you. And, if you have like any technical classes in your schedule, we don't recommend having more than 2 of those. So that's like science, technology, and math related classes. So just keeping that in mind as you plan a balanced schedule.
If anybody has any last questions, Emily, Dante, the chatters, and myself are here. Maybe if we go another 2 to 3 minutes without any folks sending anything to the chat, we can wrap up a little bit early, but just know we're happy to answer questions for you. This is what this whole webinar was designed for, to give you some space to bring your questions forward. So just wanted to let everyone know that even if you take another minute, we can hang out a little bit. But probably, I would say if we don't hear anybody in the next 3 minutes, Emily, Dante, and myself, we might end a little early. So no pressure, but we're absolutely here and we can totally go until 3 o'clock. So.
If you have any general questions just about, the experience at Cal, what to expect, we do have one of our chatters is Cal alum. We could definitely answer questions like that as well.
I'm going to repost some of the links that were shared. Thank you, Michelle, for sharing those during the slideshow. My recommendation is you definitely check out the very last 2, the Student Discovery Hub and the resources on demand. If I were you, I would totally bookmark those things. You can check them out and I'll be sending them right now.
Any tips for networking with administration? That is our intended career. Networking with administration. Now we say administration, if you probably can add on to that. Are you kind of talking about like university administration, or like if you have like an intended career path in like higher ed?
So I feel like this question in the chat about tips for networking with, your intended career path could be answered kind of generally too. So this particular person is interested in administration, but I'm wondering if Lily has any tips for just networking in general when it comes to like, professionals in a particular career that you're interested in.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I'll invite both Emily and Dante if you have other thoughts that you'd like to add in here. Like, we all engage in networking all the time. And Ivan, thank you for clarifying here that you're just interested in the field of education in general. So when it comes to networking, I think it's really good to sit back for a minute and ask yourselves, well, what actually is networking? We all heard that networking is like the #1 way you get a job. And I think it's important to understand that networking is about building a circle of trust. So it just makes it a lot easier to understand that it is a basic human thing. We just happen to have like pulled it out in language, held it up and said networking as one way that people, get opportunities. But when we really think about it, it's just humans relating with other humans. And that can bring some of the like aspects of the networking that might feel really intimidating just down a notch. I also think it's important to recognize that when it comes to certain things, like we might be really like basing an understanding of like, wow, networking feels so transactional, or it feels out of my value system or whatever. So the first thing is, I just want you to frame it in terms of it's about building a circle of trust, by which I mean, if you're going out of town and you are looking for someone to watch your puppy, who are you most likely to trust with that task? Somebody who you don't know, or if a friend recommends someone to you. In a similar way, employers are engaged in tasks that are important to them. So just remember that it's about building a circle of trust. It's about engaging in a human way. And if it feels transactional or scary, or you feel socially awkward, then you can practice it. It's just like having any other kind of conversation. So first thing first, what is networking? It's building relationships and building a circle of trust. Secondarily, if you're interested in networking in any kind of field, go to the places where people in that field are. So you can do virtual and in-person networking. Obviously, the Career Center hosts career fairs that are industry specific for this reason. So definitely come to those types of opportunities, but you're also networking with your peers in your classes. You're networking with your professors. Every time you attend a department gathering, you are networking with those folks. So just remember, it's not actually this terrifying, big, awkward, scary thing where you're having to like go out there and be someone that you're not in order to do this transaction that's going to open a door for you. Just puts way too much pressure on yourself and what you're actually doing when you're networking. So go to the places where the people are, by which I mean join career fair opportunities. Remember that because it's about human connection and building a circle of trust, every time that you make a connection with someone else, you are building your network. Join virtual opportunities. Definitely, Ivan, because you happen to be partaking in higher education as an industry, you are lucky that everywhere around UC Berkeley campus, you have the opportunity to network with folks who are in education in general. So you can also meet with a career counselor, spring of next year to discuss ways to network using LinkedIn, alumni association opportunities. We can come together and think about a plan for you that is unique to your situation, the industry, and where you want to go. You don't have to figure it out all alone. But I would just say, first of all, remember it's human, and building a circle of trust and engage in your department opportunities as networking opportunities. Come to the Career Center, come to our fairs, and remember it's okay to be human, and we're all just human connecting with each other. Emily, Dante, do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, I definitely I loved Lily's explanation of networking. Kind of just making it doesn't have to be anything that's really intimidating. It's really just sometimes just having conversations, like she said, just having conversations with people, and definitely being interested in education. And like she was saying, surrounded by educators, professors, advisors. If you're staying in the residence halls, connecting with your hall directors, your resident advisors, so many different offices on campuses that you may interact with, multicultural affairs offices, any different affinity groups offices, definitely connecting with staff. I would say, throughout the fall semester, spring semester, this upcoming year, being able to just reach out to staff members, and, set up a meeting with anyone, just like as Lily mentioned, go where those people are that's based on your interests. Talk to the people who are doing what you're interested in doing, because in my experience in undergrad, those people are definitely always willing to sit down, talk with you, kind of give you like a roadmap of, some experiences that you should be going for. And I'll say over the course of your 4 years, definitely look at opportunities, campus jobs that involve working with students, whether that's being a resident advisor in the dorms, whether it's, doing some type of front desk work with any different departments on campuses. Look at those opportunities on campus that will allow you to begin working with students, so that you can already start putting, experiences on your resume that, you're interacting and working with students. In addition to internships, whether that's, if it's K through 12, doing student teaching, things of that nature. Yeah. Doesn't always have to be anything too intimidating with networking. Sometimes it's really just an informal conversation.
Yeah, I love what both Dante and Lily said, and I echo that and I agree with all of that. And yeah, I think one thing that really helped me to network and understand what I wanted to do and how to break into a certain field was asking questions, like just asking questions about the person, about their career path, about how they broke into that field, about the different experiences that they had, to build their resume, and what are some skills that are needed for that field. And as Dante mentioned, like if there's any on-campus positions, working in education, that's a great opportunity to kind of get that started. So yeah, just asking questions. People love to talk about their experiences and themselves, and everybody here at UC Berkeley and in, higher education, I would hope really, wants to support students in their journeys through college and beyond. And so we're very happy that you're here, and we're happy to, help you as you navigate, your academics as well as your career path. So thank you all so much for being here today. I don't believe we have any other questions right now. So we're very delighted to have you at UC Berkeley, and thank you so much for joining our webinar today.